Yay area.
Okay, Yay Area by E40.
Playing
on Spotify.
Sounds weird when you say it, to be honest. Sounds a little odd. Like her saying Yay Area. Yeah. We have to do like something real good for the Bay today. And my Bay Area natives will understand. Anybody who knows me will understand. Anybody locked into what Cashmere has been doing will understand. I got my family in the building today. And when I get my Bay Area people, whether we blood, friends, just down to the soil, y'all know how we talk. Like it's different. It's gonna be a different show today. So we gotta get the zone right. You know what I'm saying? All right, that's enough. That's enough for before I get hit. What's going on, y'all? It is your man Cashmere, California. This is the Pod is Good podcast, episode 17. Pod is good, and all the time. If you know, you know. If you don't, you're gonna learn today. Welcome back. Thank you for being here. Happy to see everybody jumping in the chat. Love all the comments we've been getting on the show in the past 16 shows. It's been pretty cool. You guys have been asking about the guests, trying to bring certain people back because it sounds like there's conversations that need to be had. Even down to my guest yesterday, my man Seven, who was talking Moore's life and reparations and the peace and friendship treaty of the Moroccans and the United States. I mean, we went in there. It got deep. Somehow we went from him playing professional soccer, all the way to reparations. And that was like in a split second. So it happens like that on this show. It happens like that. Hope y'all enjoying it. Hope you rocking with the content. And I really hope you rock with what we about to do today. My guest today is my family. Like, not, y'all know how we use family, like kind of interchange with someone who's just really close to you. This ain't just somebody that's just close to me. This is one of my longest running friends. This is one of my longest bonded relatives. This is a person that I call my little brother, even though my big brother passed when I was younger. I call this guy my little brother. He's hilarious. He is one of a kind in not only comedy. I really wish he had became a stand-up comedian. There's still time. Maybe we can get him to kind of step out on this show. We'll see. Y'all kind of nudge him for me. But he does so much. He does work with computers. He works in the military. He was that guy. He was the sniper guy. I don't know if he has any jokes about that, but he's been around the world and and all that, right? Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I bring on my next guest, my cousin, Reg from the Sev.
What's good, Cuzzo?
What's good, family?
The intro is a lot to live up to. Like that's honestly the nicest thing you've ever said to me. Like earlier today on the phone, I think you called me an idiot like at least 3 or 4 times. So to hear you say good things about
that's
me
family
right
business, though. That's family business. You talking family business out here.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. Yo, I just want to say, man, I'm super proud of you. I know we talked about doing this type of thing for a long time, man, and to see you continuing to do it, man, is motivating, and I really appreciate your hustle. You feel me? You never stop. That's one thing I can say about you since I've been able to follow you around and wear your clothes when you wasn't looking. You've always done, you know what I'm saying? You've done what you say you was gonna do. So I appreciate that.
Facts. I appreciate you, man. That means a lot. That definitely means a lot. All right, so today we're gonna get into your story, right? We're gonna get into some of the conversations and thoughts we've had and talked about. But first, I want to get into. I've kind of been slacking on my top fives my past couple of episodes. So let me get back to a good top 5 conversation. We're gonna start it off with that. All right.
Okay.
I want to know your top 5 comedy movies of all time.
Oh man.
Woo! Set it off.
Damn. That's a very good question.
Uh-huh.
I have a lot, man. A lot of like surprising ones too that kind of just are funny for what they are.
Yeah.
But I would say off the top of my head, I would have to go Harlem Nights.
Boom.
This is in no particular order.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
it's an order to me.
Harlem
It came to your heart first. Harlem Nights.
Harlem Nights.
Get him quick.
You gotta get him quick. You know what I'm saying? From start to finish, that
Classic.
is the funniest classic. Yeah, classic.
Classic.
I would have to say Life. That's hilarious. Martin Lawrence, Eddie
Also
Murphy,
classic.
Bernie Mac, just heavy hitters all through there. Dang, man. Comedy movies.
Let me tell you something. So just off your first two, I'm gonna give you some time to kind of think and process, but just off your first two, what stood out to me, because those are my top 5 as well.
Yeah.
Those are two movies that are very rare because they took a group of heavy hitters and they didn't disappoint.
No.
Sometimes that happens. You know what I'm saying? You get too many of them.
Yeah, egos get involved. People just start, you know what I mean? Like trying to outshine each other, but like I don't
trying to be funny.
I don't think nobody can bring it together or has since those type of movies like came out. Like, I mean, it might be like maybe like the main characters might get along, but like I don't think it's just it's just constant riffing, constant, you know what I'm saying, ad-libbing, just kind of throwing stuff out there, other person going with it, just funny people naturally making a movie. You know, they just I feel like
these are top dogs.
Yeah, facts. I feel like they just gave them like a premise and was like, hey, this is what we're thinking about making. This is what the scene is. Go. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I mean, you got Red Fox, you got Eddie Murphy, got Richard Pryor, got Arsenio Hall, you got Della Reese. I mean,
Robert Harris.
Robert Harris.
Robert Harris. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Robert,
they got them all in there. And it's kind of like they was all in a good prime. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, you know, Eddie Murphy, of course, and Richard Pryor. You know, they probably, well, I mean, you can't even say that because Red Fox is in it. You know what I'm saying? Their history go back before that. But still, you know what I mean? Like nobody was funnier than the other person in that movie, bro. Like
that movie is tops. And it's funny you talk about prime. It's like when you look at Eddie, you know, was doing stand up before that, and it felt like he was in his prime and he was doing Delirious and Raw. Yeah. I'm not sure when. I have to go look at my history and see when Harlem Nights came out in respect to those stand-ups. But during that era, he was, you know, he was in his prime. But then you jump from that all the way to Life, and he's still in his prime. It ain't
no change.
That's a lifetime away from each other.
But let's just be real. The new Coming to America, Eddie Murphy, ain't really. You know what I mean? Harlem Nights, Eddie Murphy ain't really.
Yeah, he got too many grandkids now.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
He got too many grandkids now.
It's like watching Martin Lawrence them in the latest Bad Boys. Like, yeah, it just I don't know if it's the distance or, you know what I'm saying, not the distance, but the time it took for them to come back around to get involved in that life. But like, I feel like when you're hot, like Kevin Hart, right? People hate Kevin Hart, but like Kevin Hart goes, he has not stopped. He's in there. He's going to be consistently whatever he is. He's relevant. He's in the now, and he knows that. He's like, this flame is destined to burn out. So
right. But you know. I strongly believe, this is my hunch, I believe that grandchildren kill your edge. I feel like when you're by yourself, you ain't got no kids, you got fire, you going, you got an edge, you hungry. You have kids, now it's like, oh, okay, I got to do even more because now I got to put on for my kid. I got to provide. I got to show them how they can do it. By the time you get grandkids, you done lost, you softened up. And so when you see the comedy that comes out of Eddie, the comedy that comes, even when Eddie was on, what was it? The 50th anniversary. It was some anniversary of SNL.
Yeah.
And he did the characters. He was still hilarious, but you could just feel it. Like he was just a little softer. It was almost like it was like watching Muhammad Ali later in life, like even without the Parkinson's, like just overall, he's just a softer guy.
Yeah.
You know, before, you know, Ali would be like, oh yeah, playing around with you. Now he's just kind of like, ha, ha,
I think
I'm chilling now.
And maybe in that, right, he should have stayed with the type of movies that he was making when people were like, oh, he's fell off. He's not, because he started having kids, right? So like he was
those
like,
daddy daycares and stuff.
Yeah, all that stuff. Maybe he should have, that should have been the wave he kind of rode versus coming back like, could you do buckwheat? Like, I'm 65 years old or how old? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have that same energy naturally. You know what I mean? Forget
like,
acting.
Let me do Shrek. I mean, not Shrek. Let me do Shrek, but do Donkey.
Yeah.
And then you can draw in all the, you can give me all the animation that I don't know. I don't do anymore. I don't have Golden Child.
I'm gonna sit right here in this chair.
I don't have Trading Places energy anymore. So you could draw that energy, and I'll just sit here. Shrek.
Yeah.
What are you doing? And you just make it.
and you doing the legs and all this shit. Yeah. I feel like I don't know, man. Although he's one of my favorite, you know what I'm saying, actors, comedians. I just feel like they kind of did him dirty with the whole come back and do the same type of, you know what I'm saying, thing you're doing for
trying
money.
To revamp the whole thing.
Yeah, like it wasn't for him. He was good. That's why he didn't do it. You know what I mean? But I mean, it is what it is. The second one wasn't bad, but it wasn't. It was his own thing. You had to watch it by itself.
Right. No, but I agree. I think that's a good point about kind of riding the sunset off in animation. I think animation and voiceovers is like the direction for all comedians. Like D-Ray, you will get to that day where you don't slow down. But
D-Ray's not
voiceover
funny.
Of the
D-Ray's not funny.
Yo, I ain't gonna front. D-Ray was on Wildin' Out, and I know D-Ray from LA. Like I met him a long time ago, but let me not say I know him. I met him. I've been around him. I've never felt like he's super funny.
Yeah,
but he is a good comedy writer because he will throw out a joke sometimes, and I'm like, oh, that's good. That's that's just written really well. But he's.
I think it's the industry, right? Like you just, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know how the industry is. It puts a stereotype out there for everyone to be like, this type of person does this type of thing. So like, you know what I mean? Just subconsciously you're thinking like, you can't do, you know what I mean? You feed into that vibe where like, but from the core of like just listening to the jokes, to me, I mean, he's not a comedian for me. Like I feel like he has those good moments and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I put him in the same kind of category as like your boy DC Young Fly now. You know what I mean? Like not even because D-Ray is way funnier than DC Young Fly, but I feel like when everybody's hungry, they're their best. And then when they they you know what I'm saying, they ask them to be something like, hey, I need you to be that guy all the time to keep that energy, keep that same type of momentum. Hey, I was just doing that to get on. You know what I mean? Like,
It's
now I need a team to kind of, you know what I'm saying, put me in those spaces and stuff like that. But it is
another nod to Kevin, because he's kind of kept that same team. Like I knew people in his team in LA before he became something. Like he was still he was almost like a flop because he was like what was that, paper soldiers. He was like Paper Soldiers, Soul Plane.
Yep.
But his career still didn't really do anything. So when I would see him at like 24-hour fitness, and I was anyway, like, people in his team around town, it was like they were still just like comedians trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
But it was always like the same group.
Yeah.
What's smart about him is that his fame obviously exploded. So I know he doesn't have nearly the same amount of time to sit around writing jokes and coming up with material.
Yeah.
But because he has that same group to kind of bounce things off of, it still feels like the same flavor all the time. Anytime you see him on stage or doing whatever.
Yeah, it's easy. It's easy for him, I think, to keep that keep that energy because of those things. And I mean, and they tell you like stick with your day ones. They're gonna be real with you. They're gonna tell you what's not funny, what's funny.
Yeah.
And in his last comedic special, I think he kind of addressed that too. It's just like, you know, people they're gonna check me, you know what I'm saying? And my friends are, and I check them, and we, you know what I'm saying, we banter back and forth.
Right.
And I feel like that's what makes They Camp probably one of the most successful like comedy teams.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
by
Because
far,
when he
in a long time.
when he travels, they open for him. They do it like they're their own moving production company.
Right.
And I feel like, you know, he did it the smart way from watching all his idols do it the wrong way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or not even the wrong way, just probably just not knowing. But I think third movie on it. People are probably gonna get hate about this, but Step Brothers. That movie is hilarious, bro. I gotta watch that. I can watch that repeatedly and still laugh at it.
Okay, number 3, Step Brothers. All right.
Yeah, number 3, Step Brothers. And then there's so many that I just can't think of right now. As the show goes on, I probably can spit out some more, but like Will Ferrell, right? Like,
Yeah.
Not Will Ferrell, I think, is making that turn as like an Eddie Murphy type of turn too, because he's starting to get into that elderly, you know what I'm saying? He can't be out there being Wild Will and, you know, more cowbell and in his underwear, you know what I mean, doing stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
hard to be Elf now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know what I mean? So I feel like him capitalizing it and understanding that lane he's starting to put for himself is good too. But his earlier shit, man, like Elf, hilarious, like those movies.
Oh yeah. Top notch.
Not all of them. I don't like a lot of his Saturday Night Live stuff, but like when somebody's writing jokes for him and he's get to perform it, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah. And what was the Talladega Nights? Ricky Bobby. Yeah.
Don't you put that on me, Ricky? You know that bro, I'm telling you. It's
Will
hilarious.
Ferrell is top notch.
What's the other one? Where he's the news anchor. I forget the name of that one, but Anchorman.
Yeah.
Anchorman was hilarious as hell too. Like those type of movies, man. I can just sit back and just. Some people don't like those type of movies. You know what I mean? Like
that's true.
It's got
to be your type of comedy.
It's got to be your type of comedy. But I feel like what other type of comedy is there besides like that? Like even Harlem Nights.
He basically said like, but what other kind of comedy is it besides the one I like? Like
no, not even that. But like
what else is there?
What other kind of comedy? What is it? Blazing Saddles?
Well, you thinking like somebody who likes Napoleon Dynamite.
Napoleon Dynamite is hilarious.
I don't.
It's not one of my favorites,
but I'm saying the person that loves Napoleon Dynamite may not appreciate Johnson's Family Reunion. You know what I mean? Like it just may not have the type of subtle comedy that they enjoy because it's very overly projected comedy.
I could dig that.
You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of which, you just reminded me of another movie that's one of my favorites.
Number 4.
Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins.
Thank you. It is in my list. I watch it all the time.
All the time. You ain't nothing go. You ain't do nothing but renege.
Nigga.
Bro, I say that line to people at work.
Dude,
like,
yo, he's on my. Hold on. When I bring up for anybody that wants to support the show, I bring up my QR code. Because I know people want to support. You see the picture? Do you see the picture?
Yeah.
Like, hey, Reggie, why you keep touching my pockets, Reggie?
Hey, and what do you say? You can't do nothing with the picnic pants on.
Right. Hey, boo boo.
Hey, boo boo.
Another picnic basket.
Oh my god, bro. That is hilarious.
I'm going to get some ice. It's gonna be like I forgot how much it was. It'll be like $200. $200 for some ice.
Oh, bro.
Yo, that movie is
hilarious.
Low key hilarious. And it's one of those movies that because it wasn't like box office, it turns
Yeah.
into like cult
Cult
classic.
classic. Yeah. Yeah.
But
Death of the Funeral, it's not one of my top ones, but like Death of the Funeral was hilarious too. With Chris
Yeah.
Rock, Martin Lawrence. You know what I mean? Like I feel like all those type of, movies in that space, man, did well for what they were just because they was what they was. And
hold on. So you got Harlem Nights #1. You got Life.
No particular order. Like
Okay, you said
no
Life.
particular order, really.
#2. #3. What was #3 again?
Step Brothers.
Step Brothers.
Yeah.
4. Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins.
Yeah.
5.
Man,
I almost feel like you gotta say something that's like something that like Friday.
I mean,
or something with Chris Tucker in it.
They're not really my favorites though. You know what I mean? Like I enjoy watching them. I don't really rewatch them as frequently as the other ones I named. Like I do watch the first Friday, the second one. I don't too much watch the third one that much, even though that one, Money Mike was hilarious. Like that whole it was funny for what it was, but it's definitely probably one of them are probably in the top 10, but definitely
not in your top 5 though.
Not in my top 5.
Not
man.
in your top 5. So we still.
I would say one of them had to be and shit. I don't know. I was going to say something. I can't think of the name of it, but it's one of I like the movie. It's one of Bernie Mac's last movies that he was able to do before he passed away. It's with him, Samuel L. Jackson. They're like singers.
Oh, Soul Man.
Soul Man, yeah. I would just throw that in there because I do watch that one a lot.
I'm gonna go get a steak as big as your back.
My part is like, nigga, you got a dog food in there. You got no dog. Nigga, the dog under the bed. Nigga, he said, you got dog food. Ain't even got a damn dog. Oh,
speaking of the dog,
yeah, Daryl,
dude.
You're right.
White chicks. Me and Erica laugh all the time about that scene with Keenan and the dog, and she's like, "That's your dog? I ain't got no damn dog."
My buddy's like, he said, "That's not a dog. That's family.
That's family. Hey, family." Oh goodness.
Oh, bro.
Hey, family.
Hey, family.
Oh man.
Yeah. I watch White Chicks all the time too. I think that's probably about top 10. They've been playing it a lot, and it's been I guess because like TikTok then kind of blew it up with a lot of they like references and stuff like that. So it's
I gotta get my TikTok game up. I didn't even realize that White Chicks had made a TikTok rise.
Yeah, it's like a little follow it on there, man, with a lot of their sayings and stuff like that. So I definitely have to watch those. It's comedy was my thing, man. If I'm gonna watch any of them, bro, I watch all kind of comedies. So that's why I like Talladega Nights, you know what I'm saying? A lot of Will Ferrell stuff, a lot of older movies, man. I like 90s, like late 80s, 90s movies nowadays. You know what I mean? Me and my mom are like big movie watchers. So like we'll screenshot a movie and be like, yo, this is on Netflix right now. Go watch it. You know what I'm saying? Like a movie from the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, and we just be like cracking up over, you know what I'm saying, saying the little scenes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I say that right now, that would probably be my top 5, just off the top of my head if I had to think about it.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's a solid top 5. All right. So that being said, let's get into. I was trying to pull up the in the chat. Let me see. Oh yeah, Daryl's in the chat. He was saying Soul Man.
Yeah.
I see Deborah laughing. Daryl said y'all are funny, I swear. I wish
What's up, family?
The family is in the room. Things always feel good when you got your family
You got
around.
your fam
You know what I'm
around.
saying?
Yes,
You
sir.
feel comfortable, like we just at the crib.
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's talk about the crib. We grew up in the 707
Fairfield City.
Fairfield.
Say it backwards. Yeah.
Hey. I had Chauncey Banks on the other day.
I saw that.
You
Shout
saw
out to
that,
Chauncey, man. Shout out to Chauncey. Chauncey, he's stepdad to everybody, nigga, in the flats at that era. Like if you was somebody, even if you was nobody, like you knew the Funky Chicken, that was the hangout spot. You know what I'm saying? Chauncey used to take care of you there. So shout out to him, man, and all the great things he's been doing. Like you said, like he's been doing so much under the radar that people might not know that he's been doing, man. A lot of activist stuff, and you know what I'm saying, trying to really go out there and do some good stuff for the people. So
man,
one of the rare, you know what I'm saying, and unique positive influences that Fairfield had even at that time, you know what I mean? Which is good.
Right. And what's crazy about Chauncey is like he did it so slick, you didn't even realize all that he was doing. Truthfully, in the conversation, you can kind of realize he didn't even realize all that he was doing, but he was making very smart moves. He had, at least foresight to think about the community, to think about, the next generation coming up. He had the understanding to kind of meet people at network and, what I mean? Like know who's in the know, the people around him. And so now he kind of stands as like this local legend and historian of the area, because it was like I was saying, like your store was like if someone had, the only barbershop in Harlem. It's like you're going to get all of these Harlem local legends as they're coming up. They're going to be coming to your spot. Next thing you know, you just happen to see all of them. You know what I mean? And so him bringing the Funky Chicken back, I think that was smart.
Yeah, I mean, staple of the community, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where if you was an up and coming anything, you know what I'm saying, artist or a rapper or, you know what I'm saying, what performer, whatever, like just having that back and having a safe haven to promote your stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like you used to be able to go up there and get, you know what I'm saying, snippets. Remember those? You know what I'm saying? You used to be able to get snippets up there. People would drop it off, man. Other than that, you had to go like up to the the big city, you know what I'm saying, to get stuff like that. So him bringing and represent the Bay Area culture, man, you know what I'm saying, at the last stop in the Bay, in the North Bay, you know what I'm saying, it was a big thing. So
and fired for him. That was also he said paying people like local artists probably more than maybe what he should have in the grand scheme of things. But he was giving them a large amount of whatever the revenue was on those records that they sold locally. So he's letting local artists have market share in his store, and then he ain't killing them about it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he might have been giving them 70-80% of what the cost was. Like, who was doing that?
And it's good business, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like, it without even knowing, a lot of people owe their success, whatever it may be, to his mentality of just hanging around and being around that environment, because you come in there, you get a snippet and you buying a t-shirt or a beanie, or you know what I'm saying? So like, what do I care, you know what I'm saying, if an artist wants to come up here and have a place, because where are you gonna put it at? And Sam Goody, you know what I mean? Sam Goody wasn't holding it down for, you know what I'm saying, like that. So for him to be able to have those type of things going on, I think it's just smart business. And that's just a, tip of the hat of how smart of a businessman he was. Like you said, maybe not even knowing at the time, but like it propelled him into, bigger and better things nowadays. You feel me?
Man, I got an energy drink. That blew my mind when he said he got an energy drink. I was about to ask him, because we got the Jelly Belly factory right there. Why don't you go get the Funky Chicken jelly beans made?
You should have.
You might as well. I mean,
the big ass gummy. Remember these? They had a big ass gummy.
Yeah, the oversized.
The Funky Chicken oversized gummy, bro. That would have been.
Come on,
that would have been him.
See, Chance, you should have talked to me back then. That's one thing that got me though, when he was like, he didn't really know that I was rapping.
Yeah,
He knew me for dancing,
yeah,
and he knew me because he knew my dad. So he already,
yeah,
as a coach, he knew me. Like he knew
yeah.
me as a kid, but he knew me as a dancer. He didn't know me as a rapper. So I'm like, but you knew Ant and Goldie and Stress, and how you know them as a rapper? And you don't know, like that blew my mind. I'm like, how did I not tell him that? Or what? You know what I mean?
I mean, I think just being young, right? Like,
Yeah.
how many opportunities, that you can think of being young, of doors that you should have walked through that you just didn't,
That's a
what I'm saying?
fact.
Because you wasn't in that mindset, you know what I'm saying? You thought, and I say this to people, like, even when it comes to business that I'm in, it's like, you just think linear. You think this is the road, this is the path. How you achieve this is this, until you run into somebody that tells you, oh no, you can go left right here and right here and do this and this and they're like, oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know those lanes even existed for me to,
Yeah.
what I'm saying, get to that point. So, I feel like at that same time, it was like that, off top,
Yeah.
people just being young and trying to understand like what this all is. Cause I mean, it was new, wasn't a lot of Fairfield cats that they were well known. I'm not, saying that there wasn't Fairfield cats doing it. You know what I mean? It was just like, if they were, and they were on the level, that they were supposed to be on, it wasn't well known like it should have been.
Right.
Until
Right.
like places like the Funky Chicken start putting snippets out there, and you just be like, oh, this, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I remember just as a kid, just be like, oh, this is free music. Let me get it first so I can put my friends on. You know what I mean?
Right.
That type
Right.
of, like, not thinking that I could do the same thing to promote me. You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
So
That's a fact. I was shocked because I knew that this dude was rapping, but I had no idea he had a platinum record.
I didn't know he had a platinum record.
Mankey, he clear as day. Chauncey said Mankey has a platinum record
That's
on the
dope as
wall because of a song he was on.
That's dope.
Now I don't know whose. I still haven't found it. I meant to ask him.
Yeah.
I don't know whose song it was, but I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
that's fire.
That's dope. That's dope as fuck.
Like I didn't know. I kind of knew Mankey was messing around with rapping back in the day, but he didn't really seem like he was in it like that. It seemed like more like, yeah, I do it here and there just because people around me might be rapping, but more just kind of for sport, not I'm trying to take this somewhere. So
yeah, I mean, it's a lot of cats. I've been remiss from the base so long now. I don't think I've been home in like, I don't know, like 10 years. You know what I'm saying, off the top of my head, and that's no fault. Just the lifestyle I'm in right now is just, it doesn't take me back to the West Coast. I've been overseas for 6 years. Like, it's been that type of life. But I always try to keep, what I'm saying, at least one foot there by people like Spoon, my brother. You know what I mean? Just somebody back home, Kim Mack, Jesse Bloss. You know what I'm saying? Like, they always kind of just put me up on, like, slide me a link to somebody's stuff, and I could be like, oh, okay, and then I'm wearing that song out wherever I'm at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a lot of people like I heard Mank, I heard Wayne. You know what I'm saying? You go by Choose now. But it's just a lot of people out there, man. You know what I'm saying? That's doing it. You feel me? Like, there's a lot of people that's doing it. My nigga Ballback, his brother, Wesley. You know what I'm saying? Just a lot of people out there still, you know what I'm saying, putting a stamp on 707 Fairfield. That, you know what I'm saying, it's good to Shill Mac, you know what I mean? Like, Taji, it's a whole bunch of cats out there, man, that's still repping that Bay Area Fairfield life and putting on for the city. So I appreciate it because I get to play they shit all over the world for them. You feel me?
Right,
I'll just be like, oh, I was in Korea. Hey, put this in. And talking to the DJ, I get behind the DJ booth if I want to, plug my phone up, and I'm playing nothing but Bay Area shit. You know what I'm saying? People are like, what is this? What is this? Putting people on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just, it's good to be in that type of position, I guess. You know what I mean? To be able to spread to ears that might not have heard it. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays it's a lot easier. You feel me? But it's still good to kind of be around that world.
Yeah, for me, I run into situations. It's tough because I kind of do this. You know what I'm saying? I kind of do that too. And so there's like the fan in me. There's the my city lover in me.
Yeah.
And then there's the competitor in me.
Yeah.
And so when like I tried so hard to like Sage the Gemini.
Yeah.
I tried. And I salute him.
Yeah.
He's done great things. But I cannot rock with it at all. And I feel bad because you only there's only so many people that make it out of small cities like that and hit it to a big time. So when I have to say, shake it like a red nose, it and the artist in me is like, don't say that.
That's why though. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel that way about shit that I'm into. Like I'm just like, come on, man. But you know what I mean? Like I've learned over the years that like, if somebody like it, there's somebody who loves it. You know what I mean? And that's why I tell people like, hey, if you got any fucking idea that you feel like that it needs a space or to exist, put your shit out there. Somebody's gonna like it, and then somebody's gonna love it. And I feel like that's the case with a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff from the Bay, I don't fuck with. Don't mean that it ain't dope. It's just like I don't want to. That's not the mood I'm in right now, or that's not the vibe I'm in. Don't mean that they shit is trash. I like Sage. That song in particular, just because of like, hearing it in like the club and like, cause I was just in that vibe. But I can understand, you ever since I've known you, you've always been like on a artist and a lyricist tip. So like that has no art or lyrics in it. It's just music. And that's just what it is.
Right. And what makes it worse is like I rep Cali, you know what I'm saying? Like wherever I go, same as you, I rep Cali and I rep the Bay Area hard. So when people see me in other places, oftentimes when a Bay Area song come on, they like, oh, Cash, it's Bay Area. And I'm like, yeah, it is.
Yeah. I mean, but you gotta like, look,
don't remind me.
I'm not a San Francisco 49ers fan. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a Giants fan. I'm not a Kings fan. You know what I'm saying?
True.
But let them be playing whoever where I'm at.
Oh yeah, then it's up.
Then it's up. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's how it is about Bay Area music in general. Is if it's from the soil, like it's just in me to be like, this is my new favorite song.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
I like that. I like that.
Who it's from or what it is.
I like
this is my new favorite song.
I like that. All right. So you brought up the fact that you've been able to play, Bay Area music in other countries and abroad and whatnot, because that your lifestyle is kind of taking you that way. So let's go back to when you left.
Yeah.
When you left the 707, you left how?
I joined the military.
Military man. What branch?
Military. I joined the Army, man. I wanted to join the Air Force. I had, our your dad, my uncle, he was Air Force background. Mom was telling me to go to the Air Force. I had a high-ranking Air Force member living across the street for many, many years. Who, was like, go Air Force. I seen how he moved, you know what I mean? Like, and so I was all Air Force all the way. And then I kept going to the Air Force recruiting station, and they just never was there. And the Marines, the Navy, the Army, like they'd be like, man, come on, man. They'd be at the door like, man, they don't work, man. They don't care about their people. And in my mind, I'm like, yeah, they don't care. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It starts to stand out.
Later in life, you find out like they not there because they don't need to be there. You know what I'm saying? Like all y'all niggas need to be here, nigga.
Right. Y'all work the carnival.
Y'all need.
They actually getting stuff done.
They getting valuable assets to their team, nigga. You over here in the bottom of the trash can, like, no drug convictions. You're good. You're good. Come on.
Don't put in that application at Subway. Come join Air Force.
Come join Air
I mean, the
Force.
Marines, the Army.
Yeah, bro. And then my partner, man. So it's funny how I ended up going to the Army is my boy Chris Miguel. I was working at the cell phone little kiosk, like Singular or something at that time. And he worked somewhere else, and it was his lunch break, and I was about to go on lunch, and like, we used to always link up and shit when we could. And he's like, hey, yo, come up here to the recruiting station with me, man. I just don't want to go out there by myself. And I was like, all right, bet. So, I go out there with him, and then I'm sitting there, and I'm taking the practice ASVAB test, right? And they're like, oh, you scored pretty good, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, it's for him. You know what I'm saying? So they're like, hey, come back in 2 weeks, man. And so 2 weeks came around. He was like, yo, you coming back up there? I was like, yeah, I'll go back up there with you. Go back up there. Now I'm taking the for real ASVAB. And now
hold on, what is it called?
It's called the ASVAB test. So you take it in high school. People just don't know. It's like it's pretty much a pre-SAT.
Kind of like an aptitude kind of test.
Yeah, basically. You know what I mean? Kind of let you know where you score, like engineering, mechanic, all that type of shit, medical. So I ended up taking that shit, and it's the real one. You know what I mean? Like entry level shit. And so I pass it. And then they're like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And I'm sitting there, and now they're talking to us and shit like that. And they were like, yeah, he's going to have to come back. He didn't score that high, or something had happened with his test. I don't know. I'm not going to put him out. I don't know what happened. So then I'm like, all right, bet. So I got all these pamphlets and shit. So it's like, they're like, yeah, we're going to send you up to Sacramento to the MEP station, man, get you a physical, see if you're physically fit. And I'm like, oh, all right. Yeah, I ain't got shit else to do. So I'm telling my boy Andy, I'm like, yo, man, you should come up here to the MEP station and shit with me. He's like, well, my mom has been telling me to go to the military. You know what? Let me just go ahead and fill out some shit too, blah, blah, blah. So he gets on. So we both go up to MEPS. Now we fucking standing there, flags and shit in the background, right hand up, like swearing to support and defend. And like, I'm like, nigga, did I just join the Army? Like, bro, I feel like I just joined the fucking Army. I just signed some shit.
Wow.
Like, so then they're like, yeah, we're going to ship you off in 2 weeks. Or no, they was like, oh, we're going to send you off in 2 months. I was like, if I'm going to do this shit, man, I need to be out of here quick, because y'all niggas going to have to find me at that point. Like, if y'all can't get me out of here the next 2 weeks, bro, I ain't going. And so I think it was like maybe like 3 days before I was supposed to leave, I told my mom, I was like, Ma, I was like, I gotta tell you something. I joined the military. She was like, no, you didn't. I was like, yeah. She was like, oh, I'm so proud of you. I'm glad you're getting away from, you know what I mean? She was happy about it. And I was like, okay, because she wanted me to go anyway.
Okay. I don't think I knew that.
And yeah, so I think around the same time I told my friends, I was like, hey, me and Andy joined the military. We're leaving like 2 days. They were like, get the fuck out of here, nigga. I'm like, okay. Like, we're going. Everybody swore up and down. They took us to Sacramento to the MEP station and still didn't believe we were there. Like, checking into the hotel, the whole shit.
Wow.
They were like, y'all niggas ain't joining the military. I'm like, no, this is what we're here for.
Right, right.
These other motherfuckers around here, like, they all
in on it. Everybody in on it.
Yeah. So I joined like almost like a year to the date of me graduating high school in July of 2001.
So you kind of just stumble into it. Are you scared? Are you excited? Are you reluctant?
I don't even think it's real. Like, I just like I don't even know how to
there.
I'm just kind of there, right? And so I go through the physical shit. We do the whole whatever, we swear in again. And they're like, yeah, you're shipping out to basic training in 2 weeks. And I'm like, okay, basic training, you know what I mean? Like, whatever. So now, like, my recruiter and them are like having us, practice. We're running around laps around the mall and shit, doing push-ups and sit-ups and stuff like that with like other motherfuckers that's joined the military. And yeah, man. So like 2 weeks later, no shit, my friends drop us back off up there in Sacramento. Next day, I'm on my way to Fort Knox, Kentucky. That's when I knew I joined the
Then
military.
it clicked.
Then it clicked.
Then it clicked. And so at that point, now are you nervous? Or are you still just like, all right, I'm in it. Let's go.
I was kind of nervous. I remember calling my mom, like, Mom, I'm about to run, I'm about to leave. I'm about to just take off out of this shit. Because like it was fucked up, because had I just got there and got my training over with, I probably would not have been thinking these, like, I'm about to escape this fucking prison mindset. But it was summertime, and in the summertime, the military does what is called a summer surge, where they get like an influx of people from graduating high school, graduating college. Like, their numbers are extensive, you know what I mean? So they don't have enough people to train that volume of people. So I was stuck in that. When I was supposed to be a week in processing into the military, I was there for like 2 months. So that's as long as I should have been doing training and my specialty. I should have been going, because it's only 16 weeks total for OSET training.
Wow.
So yeah, I done been there longer than I should have been.
Yeah.
And so like there's other motherfuckers been there longer than us. You know what I mean? They're like, bro, well, like y'all, like at this point, it's like a drug. It's like really I ain't never been locked up, but I'm with niggas that been locked up. And they're like, this is just like prison. And to me, it felt like it, because now we got deals with the lunch ladies. They dropping off stuff for us and blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like it's a monopoly going on right now. Wow. So we're all in there just hustling and basically just living this damn waiting to join the military or waiting to go to training life. So at that point, I was like, man, and then they were like, oh, you got asthma. You got to stay longer. I was like, asthma? I went through the medical screening. I've been healthy all my life. Like, I never had asthma. How the hell I have asthma? Maybe because I'm in hot ass Kentucky in this humidity, and I'm from California. You know what I'm saying? Like in the middle of July and August. Like, that's why I can't breathe out in this bitch. So wow. Yeah, man, it was crazy.
Okay, so now so you're out in Kentucky, basic training. You're in it now. Like, now it's no turning back.
I got a uniform. They done cut my little crustache that I had. Like, I'm bald headed. I'm in it.
You in it. And so once you're in it, what is the minimum amount of time that you knew you had to be there?
4 years.
4 years. Yeah. And so you said it's a year after graduation. So you're around 19. Your birthday's late in the year. So
I turned 19 in basic training.
Still be 18. Yeah. So okay, so you're not getting out to like 22, 23, somewhere in there.
Yep.
21, 22.
Yep.
Wow. That's a huge jump. That's a huge life change. But it sounds like you said, if they have a surge, a lot of people go through that same jump. So so the people that you were around that were also coming in, what was like the consensus of everybody else? Did they also feel like, yo, this is not what I thought it should be? Were there a lot of people that were more like, yes, this is everything I wanted it to be? Like,
I mean, you had some motherfuckers that was like gung-ho trying to serve their country, but like most of the people was just like, I was bored and didn't have nothing else to do. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people went to school. I went to college that entire year that I was like out of high school. I went to community college, but like working, you know what I mean? Just running around, really didn't have a purpose. I was supposed to move down there to LA with you after I graduated, you know what I'm saying? So I had like a lot of things that happened and didn't happen, and I never like, you know what I'm saying, I never really picked a path. I was just waiting for something to kind of fall on my lap. Now that I think back on it, you know what I mean? I didn't really know what I was doing. I just knew that, I got to work and go to school right now, because that's what I've been doing any goddamn way. There's a whole bunch of shit I want to do, but like we talked earlier, like sometimes you just, this is the path I need to be on to achieve whatever the hell this is, and not seeing these left and right turns. So that hard hook right joining the military propelled me into a direction that now is out of my control. Now it's on these motherfuckers to tell me what I'm about to be doing for the next 4 years.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So this is a big step in your life. This is truthfully the at this point, because school is, none of us chose to go to school, right?
Yeah.
We're in school because our parents said you going to school legally. You got to be in school, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
this is like your first adult choice in so many words. Your first adult choice. So you get through basic training. I'm pretty sure a lot of people didn't make it. You know, some people,
Like,
found out they wasn't it.
Yep.
But you excelled and you kept going. So even though you kind of stumbled into this new lifestyle, you still committed to it and proceeded forward after basic training.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a weird, crazy story, you know. Like, I had like once I got into it and I was working hella hard, I was a tanker, so I was on like big A1 M1A1 tanks. Two things happened. One, I didn't like my job, and then two, I liked where I was at because I was fortunate enough at 19 years old to go to Germany. So my first duty assignment was overseas, which made me connect with a lot of people that like put me in a good mindset. You know what I'm saying? Like, I credit my boys, my boy Willie Niles and my boy Altron Criswell. You know what I'm saying? Wimp and Criswell. I credit them because like day one of me arriving in Germany, I'm signing in, I'm talking to my supervisor, and oh, my mom talking crap. I sign in and I'm talking to my supervisor, and Criswell walks by and he's like, who is this? Oh, this the new cat. He was like, hey, don't worry about it, son. I got him. He can stay with us. And they was like, you sure? He's like, yeah. We got room for him. You can stay with us. So like, it's like Friday night. It's right after they came back from Kosovo. Like, so they just coming back from a deployment in Kosovo. So like they're pulling like gate guards and stuff like that. You know, this is right after OIF 1 or like right after 9/11, because 9/11 happened while I'm in basic training, and then I get to my first duty assignment like right January like 3rd or something. So like 9/11's fresh. We're overseas. This is where people fly out of to go to get deployed. They're already like, oh, we're going next. Like, we're going this year. So get ready, boys. Like, couple months, we're out of here. But anyway, so we, you know, they put me up on
hold on. That moment's got to be crazy. Like,
yeah,
this is something you started by just going with your friend because he didn't want to go by himself.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden it's about to be Operation Iraqi Freedom, and they're like, saddle up, Reg. And you're like, oh, no. I'm gonna just run back to the mall real quick because I had told them I was just gonna come for a little bit.
Yes.
And then I was
yes. You know what's crazy, man? What's crazy is the military brainwashes you. Like in that time frame with me being pissed off that I didn't go to training to the time I did go to training and graduated, I was ready to go to war.
Oh, wow.
Like, all of a sudden now I've got this brotherhood behind me. I've got a purpose. You know what I mean? I have a mission.
Wow.
Or so you think, you know what I mean? Like, and that's like every service, I think, kind of brainwashes you. And it's not like a hardcore brainwash, like they got showing you blinding pictures of like Taliban, you know what I mean? But they make you feel a certain way.
Yeah.
And I have brothers and sisters to this day, from the time of day one till now. You can't say nothing bad about my people. You know what I mean? Like, you just still have that connection.
So do you feel like they have a way of like tapping into your emotion?
No, I think they do a very good job of breaking down your emotions, right? They remove your natural given emotions from where you're from, where you're at, and they make you adapt new emotions that are the U.S. Army.
Yeah, that's exactly what they did. The Waffen SS, you know, Germany.
It's
pretty much the same.
I don't have that patriotism and that I once had before. You know, now that all of that shit is gone, like I despise a lot of shit that you know what I mean? Like, I'm one of them cats. Like, but at the time, you know what I mean? Like, you know, so I'm driving to Germany, like they're like, we're going in a couple months. I'm like, cool.
That, to me, that is definitely a brainwashing, because obviously I know you.
Yep.
And like you said, prior to this new leap that you took, you're talking about comedy. You're talking about coming to LA and going to auditions.
Yep.
You had tried music a little bit, and you are a fun loving, caring, family driven kind of person.
Yeah.
So knowing that, and knowing your mom, who's tapping in the chat, love you, auntie, who knowing your household, is like, you got this same kid in a few months to be like, what, we going to war? Bet.
Yeah. And I think that's like, we make the best soldiers, like people like us, because I always tell people, like, the Army didn't have to teach me their values. Like, they didn't have to teach me loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service. That's something, if you just grew up in the type of environments we grew up with, like, that's just natural. You know what I'm saying? You do unto others as you want done unto you. That mentality is not something that's new. It's new for a lot of people, and those people don't make it. You know what I mean? Like, they're the ones who have the problems. So, but 95% of all people that join the military already kind of have that inside of them. You know what I mean? So all the military does is remove those purposes that you've set those foundations and instill them with military directives. And attach on those values with military goals and ideas.
Yeah.
So it's a brainwashing tactic. A lot of the things that they do now, like when I went through, they don't do anymore. But it's still, they still get people in. People still come in. It's different. That's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, I mean, it is. But that person never really left me. When I was in Germany, I was wilding the fuck out. We was going out, hanging out, partying, making music, you know what I mean? Like all those type of things still didn't, but like when it's game time, it was game time.
Because they had it to where they, it wasn't like a snap of a finger, but they start playing that song in the background.
But if you start marching out of nowhere,
somebody's humming in the corner, somebody's tapping a glass, and next thing you know, you're like, yes,
it's game time.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Roger that.
All right, so this I want to hear about. So I read a book called Chasing Ghosts.
Okay.
And the book is from a soldier who is, let me not say which branch he's with. He's in the military.
Yeah.
The book starts with him on a plane, describing the emotions of other soldiers as they are heading out to try to find these weapons of mass destruction, right?
Yeah.
And as it proceeds, it kind of gets into them out there realizing, like, we were lied to, like, but now we're here in the middle of it. Yeah. So you get sent out, Operation Iraqi Freedom.
Yep.
You have that charge that you just talked about that's saying, oh, it's time to go.
Yeah.
I'm about to stand up for my country right now.
Yep.
I'm about to defend what's right in our way of living, our society, my families. Like, it's on. When you arrive, how long did it take you to get to that point of, oh, y'all got me?
Probably
or did you get to that point?
No, everybody gets to that point, and that's why they stop 15-month deployments. So when I went, it was 15 months. You were deployed to Iraq for 15 months. Now they do, I think 9 months is the longest that you can be deployed for the Army, and then for the Air Force, I think it's 6 months, like 190 days or something crazy like that. Because
of that,
yeah. I mean, you start like I said, first, I say the first 4 or 5 months, mistakes were made. People are no longer here for the wrong reasons, on both sides. And it just gets to a point where now you they call it complacency, but it's just really reality. You realize that what if Russia rolls into goddamn Fairfield Westfield shopping center and was like, all of y'all show me who has the weapons. They're like, the fuck are you talking about? You right there, you come here, grab him, like, and that's your brother. You're like, wait a minute, that's my, you know what I mean? Like, it's that type of mentality. And you know, a lot of movies got it right, that feeling. And you start, you know what I'm saying, realizing that these people are just really, they don't care about the Taliban, they don't care about insurgencies, they don't give a shit about Americans. They just want to live their life, go to work, come home, kiss their wife, tuck their kids into bed, pray, eat food, laugh. You know what I mean? Like, that's all that 90% of those people want to do. The other 10%, the ones that people consider radicals and stuff like that, they're just fighting for their way of life. You know what I mean? Same difference, same as we're doing. You know what I mean? Like, we're fighting for the American life. But ain't nobody tried to invade America. When's the last time? Pearl Harbor? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, we always go looking for some shit. And I feel like that's once you start realizing that, that's you're no longer a good soldier to them. You know what I mean? You're no longer you snapped out of that, and then you'll never be the same. A lot of people that come back, they're just not the same. And yeah, you know, people did stuff and seen things and all of that stuff, so they're not right also. But you know, when you start repeatedly deploying and you start living with the people and they start doing your laundry, and now you know their kids and they're showing you pictures, and this is my mom, and then you don't see them for 3 weeks, and then you finally see them, you're like, what happened? You're like, my brother got killed last night. You're like, what? You know, he got airstriked or this and this, and you're just like,
yeah.
And you're wearing the uniform of some people that did it,
or
some people that did it thought that the uniform you're wearing, people were at that location, or they saw you working for the Americans. You know what I mean? So it's like a lot of that type of stuff that, you know, just doesn't sit well with a lot of people in that uniform.
Wow, that has to be eye-opening and humbling and almost maybe even embarrassing.
No, 100%. 100%. That's why I don't really talk. I don't really go into details about the shit, because at the end of the day, these are people. You know what I mean? On any aspect or any war, you know, and you know, once you get older, man, you just start to realize, like, it is true what they say. Like, you know, these people sit up in these offices, man, just sitting there looking at a damn board, saying, all right, let's move 200 of them here, and we're gonna show that Putin, like. And then they go get in their Maybach up armored, you know, vehicle, drive off to, you know, Maui, feet up, you know what I mean, waiting on a report on their fucking iPad.
Well, I will say this. I really wanted to hear some of the crazy stories, because, you know, I'm all into, I watch war documentaries. I'm like big World War II history buff. I'm in it. So the fact that we were going to talk about war and all the goings on, I wanted to hear it from the source. I wanted you to take me to the trenches. I wanted to feel the smoke in the air.
Yeah. So I will say this. All right. There was a lot of missions where we had to go and find weapons of mass destruction. Right. And we used to get like these random like tips from whoever the fuck sent them. And we would roll out like a army commercial, tanks, helicopters, C-130s, Black Hawks, 200 infantry, special forces, and cordon a whole neighborhood. Like, I used to be a tank driver at the time. I get out of my hatch and literally just hundreds of people surrounding a block, you know, a block in middle of Baghdad somewhere, because someone said Usay or Kusay, whoever these niggas' names is here. Hours just sitting there, right? And they were like, oh, false information. 2 days later, oh, we found him. You know, I've been in these mansions deep down. You know, you go into these mansions and stuff like that for some of the officials, and I'm talking about like right hand of God, you would see maybe like 60, 70 pallets stacked about waist high of nothing but American currency, Deutschmarks at the time, British pounds, just money. And guess what they did? Loaded it up, and you never see it again. Where do you think all that money went? And I'm talking about that's like 4 or 5 times that I personally was on these details where we would have to go, and I visually saw it with my eyes get loaded into some random blacked out truck and never saw the money.
Never saw it again.
Yeah. So like, I mean, there's there's those type of situations where you know that what you're doing just doesn't seem right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when you're there, like I said, when I'm in the moment, I'm like, yeah, take that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they funding the war. That's how they paying the terrorists. You know what I mean? Like that shit.
Hold on. Where are you taking it though? Where are you taking it?
Yeah.
I meant to say split it. Let's split it.
Oh yeah. So like, I mean, we did some shit. We got a little. I mean, we're gonna get tipped now.
Yeah.
We're gonna get tipped. We used to do missions where like they, for some reason, they were like, hey, no alcohol or no sidewalk vendors because they're hiding IEDs in these vending little push carts and shit.
Yeah.
So we'd have to go and round these push carts up, and I'm talking about whiz ass zipping these people ass for trying to sell chicken on a stick at 9:30 at night because curfew was at 9.
Did they deserve it?
No, absolutely not.
Did you ever find anything? Or
nope.
Just chicken? Just chicken.
Just chicken and Iraqi money that we stole.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, just shit like that, man. That's why. Wow. And then you just start waking up, bro. You just start like, what are we doing?
Right.
What are we doing out here?
Yeah.
Like, what is going on?
And I get it. I get why somebody that was in the middle of it wouldn't want to discuss it, because I understand, it probably just feels uncomfortable. You know what I mean? But at the same time, and I know eventually somebody would probably shut it down, but it is the kind of thing that people do need to know, because I mean, it's relevant. You know what I mean? It's like, of course, America don't want to talk about it. America never likes to talk about their L's.
Yeah.
So, I get that it's not something that would be smiled upon to be kind of sharing openly, but at the same time, it's like it feels like when they say they don't want critical race theory, because this talks about an era in our history where it tends to make current Americans, we'll just say that, feel saddened or feel guilty or any negative feelings, and they didn't have a part in it. Okay, well, you don't even want to talk about this stuff right now.
Yeah,
like that's America.
Well, I mean, I think because then you're a more difficult soldier at that point. Now I can't tell you like, hey guys, this time for real, we found him. You know what I mean? Like, now
they walk in like this. I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Everybody, bro. I'm saying it for me, but like everybody who I was over there just got to that point where you're just like, all right, you're slowly putting your shit on.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the war stories and stuff like that. And I'm sure, my partners that's probably going to watch this later on or may have popped in and heard a little bit of it that I deployed with, because I'm still friends with a lot of those boys today. My first deployment. That everybody gets fucking tired of it, man. And there's war stories. I could talk like we got our asses handed to us a lot of times. They were really good at blowing fucking the turd off of tanks. They were really good at it. They were like, this tank is impenetrable, and then the fucking roof of a tank is gone. You know what I mean? Like, how good are these motherfuckers? You know what I mean? We went to Fallujah. We got our ass handed to us in Fallujah. Solder City, we was like, it got to a point where they were like, stay the fuck out of Solder City. Go around. Wow. You know what I mean? It's like somebody trying to come to your neighborhood and, nigga, I know all these back streets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know all the houses that connect. I know all the people that live here. They know me. I know them. Like, so there's a lot of that, but it is what it is. The good thing about it is I did get to experience it, man. I made some lifetime connections. It propelled me into the position I'm in now, and it is what it is.
That's incredible. I feel like there's so much in there to unpack. I'm not going to attempt to. And unless we ever have a pod in the future where we're specifically talking about something. But I know for anybody listening that's intrigued by stories like this, or that behind the scenes life of someone who's actually in the military, this is important, and it's very interesting to hear, and because there's speculation that we can do as civilians,
but
it's different. You know what I mean? It's literally the same thing as when the newspapers, or I guess I should say the news reporters, started to go off to Germany and actually send back in the media what was really going on. They start to see the war photographers, the actual photos that they were taking of our military, of our men and women who were injured, and they were like, it opened everybody's eyes, like, oh, hold on, maybe I shouldn't just be blindly rooting for this to continue to happen. Maybe there's another way. And so I think that, like, hearing this kind of story does the same things for us back home, where we maybe at one point we're just, they have weapons of mass. Well, that makes sense because we just watched them do this and that and the other. I mean, it doesn't make sense now because now all of us are kind of like, they have weapons of mass destruction, and then they used our planes. Like, why didn't they use one of the weapons?
I'm gonna tell you one of our facts. One of our interpreters said the realest shit to us one day, right? Because we used to fuck with them, right? Early on, we fuck with them, and then they just ended up being our brothers, like anybody else, right? The good ones,
right?
Because there's infiltration in every system, you know what I mean? But the good ones, right? And they're all damn near named Ali, so I'm gonna just say his name was Ali. One day we're just like fucking with him. We're on this checkpoint, and we're like, man, it's so fucking hot, blah blah blah. It's Ali, man, I know you done seen these weapons of mass destruction riding around this bitch, man. Like, it's got to been like a truck passed by your neighborhood or something, bro. Just show us where the fuck it's at. And this is like right after we had caught Saddam, right? And he's like, you Americans, man, every American I work with, y'all, oh, where's this missile? Where's this, submarine, or where's this nuke? He's like, wasn't Saddam Hussein a weapon of mass destruction? It's like he literally murdered millions of our people over his reign in power.
That's a fact. That is a fact.
He's like, and like when he said that, I was just like, so why the fuck are we here? You know what I mean? And then, as you just get older and you start, as I got into the military and I started getting into military history and stuff like that, I started like kind of noticing politics, right? You start understanding political power and the significance of positioning, right? And then you start thinking about, in every successful empire, it crumbles within first, right? So like, and then the what is it? Crabs in a bucket. You know what I mean? At one point, Saddam Hussein is our ally. We're giving them vehicles. A lot of the shit we blew up over there, a lot of shit we confiscated, a lot of the weapons that we depots that we raided was our shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Gaddafi, like all of these people, bro, were our allies until they decided not to be, and then they became an enemy of the state. And now we got to get rid of them because they know too much. They have too much. We got to go get that shit back. You know what I mean? And it's been like that from the beginning of time, and it ain't gonna fucking change. That positioning and that power is just something that man will never get rid of. Even fucking Jay-Z and goddamn Dame Dash fell out. You know what I mean? Like every struggle of power, man, at some point.
The Rock broke up.
Yeah.
It's a fact.
You know what I mean? So it is what it is when it comes to that type of stuff, man.
So were you there the day that they caught Saddam?
I was there the day they caught Saddam Hussein, it was like any other fucking day. Still went out on mission. Still, now that we got them, they're gonna set this bitch off like no more than they already have or have not. Like it was not. Then people weren't trying to fucking fight. They had nothing to fight with. The day America or Saddam Hussein knew that America was going to invade them, the people, the locals, everybody you talk to, they just rode around. Their military rode around dumping crates of guns and ammos on the street and said, "Defend yourself. The Americans are coming."
Wow.
Dropping off vehicles like, "Here's the keys, niggas." You know what I'm saying? Like, the Americans are coming. Type of shit. Let out all the prisons, all the prisoners. They let all the prisoners go. So like why
did those people just go get Saddam? Because he's been terrorizing them forever. He's been hanging people out in the middle of the neighborhood. He's been has trenches of dead bodies. Like now y'all got all these weapons.
Yeah. It sounds so simple because we are Americans, right? Like we don't like something, nigga. Nigga, what you mean my coupon ain't good? My coupon good here all the time.
It's expired yesterday. What are we doing?
Yeah.
What you mean you don't serve breakfast? It's 11:35.
Yeah. I'm telling you, it's you're dealing with a communist country. So fear. You got Sunni and Shiite, like that alone, they were already fighting each other. You know what I mean? So like now you mean to tell me we got to be cool with these niggas that we already fighting because I'm gonna make good with them and to go after y'all. I'm gonna point, hey, they're the terrorists. It was a lot of that. Like they're the terrorists. They weren't terrorists. They just believed a different Quran version than you. Oh no, they're the terrorists. Right. You know what I mean? So it was a lot of wild goose chases and just stuff like that, man. I remember the first time that I had not really I'll tell you two stories. First story of how in the mindset I was. We're walking through this village. It's nighttime. We're just like doing like a peaceful stroll, right? Make sure ain't shit around. We hear gunshots go off like down an alley. We rush towards the alley, right? I mean, I don't say rush. We maneuvered towards the alley. As we're getting towards the alley, this guy is like just start running. He like is running. He's looking back in the alley, and then he turns and sees us. He gets afraid because it's fucking 14 Americans with guns. You know what I'm saying?
Right, of course.
That shots just popped off.
Right.
He gets scared, takes off running. They're like, "Get him, Robinson, go get him." I just take off blindly after this dude. He's running for his life. You know how niggas run when they hear a dog in the distance?
Oh yeah, be different.
Your legs take over your body, right?
it's that ugly run. You lose all that cool swag. Trying to get out of there.
Buddy was out, bro. He was out of there. I'm having to try to catch him, and I could run. I'm 19, fresh. You know what I mean? Fresh. I catch up with this dude. I done left everybody. I didn't hit corners and every fucking thing.
Oh,
I finally catch him. I got him down. I got my 9 pointed at his face, right? I'm yelling at him. He's yelling at me. I don't speak Arabic. He don't speak English. I'm like looking around. Now there's a crowd forming. So now I'm like, get back. Everybody get back. Like, they don't know what I'm saying.
You're like the Transformer right now. This is crazy.
That story makes me afraid today, but in the moment I wasn't. Like, I was like, oh, I'll kill everybody in this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like,
with 9 bullets, I'll take everybody.
I'll kill everybody in this bitch. But the time that you're in it, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, they finally catch up. Turns out the interpreter's like, he's homeless, man. He heard shots, he ran. Like, and I'm like, we did that type of stupid shit.
Right.
This NCO, he's in jail now, thank God. This is one dark story I'll tell. So, same type of patrol at night, and we're walking through this village. We end up somehow, we were with another platoon, right? So it was our platoon and another platoon. Their platoon calls for backup, so we go help them out. Like, there's people outside. For some reason, I got to be inside of the little because we took over somebody's house, kicked their ass out. Grandma, everybody on their knees, hands behind their fucking head, right? When we walk up, We go inside. This NCO has this. He's senior NCO. Like when I say senior NCOs, I mean like top management type of people, right?
Gotcha.
And he's the guy, cigar in his mouth the whole time. And he's just yelling at this dude, right? And the translator is like yelling at him, blah, blah, blah. It's like, where the fuck is the, da, 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 where are they at? They told us that you were an insurgent. And he's just like crying, whatever, right? And before like we could walk completely in the door, we hear what's going on. I see what's going on. He just shoots this dude in the head.
Woo.
And I'm like, we're like me and my supervisor, we just kind of stop and we're just like, and we just walk back out. And he was like, I'm just like in shock. Like, I'm like, why? You know what I mean? Like I could like he's facing me, the guy on his knees, and he does this. So thank God that NCO, that person is in jail now because he had a severe alcohol problem. He ended up several years later, he ended up drinking and driving, jumped a curb, and killed like 2 people. So,
oh my gosh,
he's in jail for the rest of his life. That karma has came back.
NCO something commanding officer.
Is it just a senior non-commissioned officer? So just a senior enlisted person.
Gotcha.
But
gotcha.
Just funny story, and then we can get off of this shit. We first get to Iraq. I get in trouble because I'm almost what they call missing movement. So I'm almost AWOL the day we're leaving to go to Iraq because my NCO tells me one time, my supervisor tells me one time, but it was like 2 hours after the time we were supposed to be there. So like I'm on my way back from somewhere that's an hour and a half away, and I'm already 2 hours late, and I'm like just hitting the road type of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, so I get in I'm getting all these phone calls. I'm like just ignoring them. Like, what the fuck are they calling me so early for? I finally answer, and they're like, "Yo, where the fuck are you at? You supposed to be here?" I'm like, "Oh, okay. I was told this time. So and so told me this time." Anyway, long story short, I get there, I get yelled at. They're like, "Go clean your room," blah blah blah. So I get put on details. They're like, "Hey, we're not gonna discipline you, but you're gonna be on like some shitty ass details to make up for whatever." I'm like, "All right, well, bet." I end up having to do what they call port details. So like when we first get there, we got to go pick our vehicles up that came on the ships. So I travel, I think it's like, I don't know, 3-4 hours away from our location. And we're standing in line, like about to leave. And it's like, says like 70 of us in a straight line, 75 vehicles or however many vehicles. And there's military drivers, and then there's local national drivers. And this is my first week in country from Germany. And I'm not even in country. I'm in Kuwait. Kuwait is, you can go to Kuwait today. No, no war, nothing like that.
Gotcha.
You can just go.
Gotcha.
But I don't know that. I'm like, hey, we're in the desert. We at war,
Right. To you, so, if it ain't Fairfield and it looks like this, it's war.
It was war.
Yeah.
I'm looking down. It's like 10 people on my right, and it's like 60 on this one. So I'm looking at the vehicles, I'm looking at the people. I'm like, I'm about to get a local fucking national watch. Sure as shit, they're like, you, and I'm like, God damn it. So I had to get in a truck with this local national dude. We get in the truck, we're in this long convoy. We're like 2 hours into the ride in the middle of the desert at night. Like, think about Aladdin desert, right. where they like that kind of at in the night. Sand. Yeah, in the sand at night. All of a sudden, my truck starts.
And how many? Hold on, how many vehicles?
It's like 70 vehicles in this.
Oh yeah, so it's just a dust cloud. It's not like the normal. You might think of like camping middle of the night where the sky is dark and the sky, you're almost getting lit up by the moon. Nah, this is like
beautiful night. I mean, you could feel like you could touch the stars, but it's nighttime dirt from big rig vehicles. Like they're pulling tanks and shit on the back of these vehicles.
Yeah.
Cut to, it's like I start seeing vehicles passing us, and I'm like, this is odd. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then our truck starts like, he's like, I don't speak Arabic. He don't speak English. Next thing I know, We're the last vehicle. All of the vehicles in front of us, lights just slowly fade out.
Oh,
and our truck stops. And I'm in the middle
oh,
of the desert. Ed
oh.
Wood with a local national
Who don't
I don't
speak
know.
you and you don't speak him.
He don't speak. I don't speak him. He don't speak me. And
Yo.
I am like, I got my M4 and I got my M9, and I'm like, start the truck. And he don't speak me, and I don't speak him. So now he done got out the truck. I'm like, nah, nigga. You get out, I go where you go. I know that. I know you can speak that. I go where you go. I hop out. I'm like cutting around the corner, like pieing him off. He's up underneath the truck. I'm like, fix it. I'm like looking around, like this is a setup, bro.
It's gotta be a setup.
I'm the
they
one.
about to pop out the sand. It's gonna be.
I'm being a video. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to get my head. Like my mama gonna see this.
Right.
Like this is not how I wanted to debut.
Oh my god!
We end up getting.
I know you got the bubble guts. You like, man. All of a sudden, I need to go to the bathroom.
I'm scared, but I'm in my military mode, so I'm in training. I'm like, I will shoot anybody who doesn't have this on. Right. I don't care. They can be coming to help. Bow. Like, oops, sorry. Should announce yourself. I don't speak you. You don't speak me.
I'll take that. Yeah. Do you need this? He had it.
Just blow the horn until somebody show up.
Right. Oh my gosh.
He finally gets the vehicle fixed, and that's cool. So he gets the vehicle fixed. So now he's like, I'm like, nigga, I don't.
He don't know where to go.
Because we were following vehicles.
And you can't really just say go straight because it's just like pitch black desert.
We might go back around and be back where we started at.
Right.
So you can't see the tire marks. You know what I mean? Like we're just going. So like I'm just like just go. Just fuck it. Just go. Somebody, we're gonna run into something. Yeah. It's gonna be either action or satisfaction. You know what I mean? Like,
but we ain't sitting here.
But I'm ready for either one.
Right.
I don't know if you're ready. Because I don't see shit around here that says you ready. I am. I'm ready. So we finally.
Do you know whatever happened to the tank or just?
I don't know what happened to the. No, so we was in a semi truck.
Oh,
we was pulling the tank. Yeah, we was pulling the tank. The semi broke down, but he was able to get it back running.
Gotcha.
And then by that time, the vehicles had left. So like, I just started seeing like lights in the distance. I'm like, go towards the light, you know. So he's driving towards them, and then like they get brighter. They're like, boom, stop your vehicle, get out. And I'm like, I get out, and they're like, stand right there. I'm like, I'm American. I'm American. For God's sakes, I'm American. Jesus. Because if they feel like I feel, they're ready for something. You know what I mean? Like we're at war, daddy. Like, I don't know. You dark skinned. Somebody could have took some army clothes. Like,
right.
They was like, get on your fucking knees.
You look closer to them than you look to us. So.
Yeah. Get on your fucking knees. I'm like, bruh, it's me, man.
Right. I was just responsible for this tens of thousands, hundreds. You had a tank, so millions of dollars worth of equipment, and now I'm on my knees.
Now I'm on my knees, begging, please don't shoot me. Trigger happy, West Virginian.
you
can't kill a black person.
You was trying to spit out all the American trivia, like Elvis Presley, love peanut butter banana sandwiches.
Like all that shit, bro.
New York has 2 baseball teams.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Comes out, he's like, man, I almost fucking shot you. What the fuck are you doing out here? I'm like, did you see some trucks? He's like, trucks. Fuck you mean? I'm like, I'm not just out here riding around, nigga. Like,
so did you ever even find the convoy?
Like 3 hours later.
Wow.
That's just the first almost death experience with the lights. Because then they were like, yeah, just there's another base if you go that way, like a click and a half that way. Just stay on course. And I'm like, all right, pull up. Stop your vehicle. Get the fuck out. Like,
you're like, they didn't call you? The niggas didn't call you. They told me to come here.
None of us know who we are. You know what I mean? Like, we just all of these different little outposts in the sand. It's nighttime. You know what I mean? Like, so finally we show up. Our base is like, get out of the vehicle. I'm like, man, it's fucking like, I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired.
Nope.
And it's my people. My people are like, are in vehicles. They're like, we were just coming to get you. I'm like, motherfucker, 3 hours later. It's like all the vehicles rolled up. We're thinking you about to show up, or you maybe went to chow or something. I was like, then they were like, is Robinson accounted for? It's like, anybody seen him? So I'm like, I could have been dead. And y'all was up here eating goddamn Snickers bars and shit.
Nigga.
Oh, bro. First week, like I'm talking about 72 hours first week, bro. In that
wow,
shit.
Bro, that's crazy. That's enough. Like by the time you get back to base, you're like, all right, so I'm good. I
did the whole deployment thing. Check. That's check for me, right?
I had all of it. I've been on both sides at this point. I was in the right, in the wrong. Hey, time to go home for me,
bro.
Anybody seen a backpack?
It's got Robinson on it. Everybody see that shit? Yeah, man.
Oh my gosh, that is crazy. And the fact that you remember that story so vividly after all these years, it's like
it's etched in my brain.
It says a lot about what that moment meant, how that moment felt.
Yeah.
Sheesh. And that was in the beginning, and you were there for how many months?
I was there for 11 months. I didn't do the whole 15. They lifted the stop loss. I was able to re-enlist. Well, I had already re-enlisted at this point, but they did a stop loss, and they were like, nigga, everybody can't go nowhere. You know what I mean? Wow. So they lifted it. They lifted it for 30 days, and my recruit, they call him a retention NCO. He came out to where I was at to tell me. He was like, Robinson. And I can hear him yelling my name. And he just like with papers in his hand, like asking people, like, where's Robinson? Like, it's like, hey, sign right here. Hey, we're gonna get you out of here. And I was like, what? He's like, they lifted the stop loss, but we gotta hurry up. I gotta fax this. I was like, get me the fuck out of here.
Get me out. And then you get done signing. He's like, gotcha,
nigga. No take backsies.
That's 4 more years, buddy.
Yep, that's exactly what it was.
Wow, man. Okay, all right. So we're gonna come back. We're gonna come back to America.
Yep.
Because when you left, did you come straight to America? You went? No, yeah, you did. Yeah. You came back here first, right?
Yeah, I came back home. I got to do the whole surprise your mom.
Yeah.
From the
she loved that.
Yeah, I hadn't talked to her. Kind of on purpose, because every time I talk to her, she's like, what vehicle numbers are y'all again? Because she's watching it's OIF1, it's the war. Yeah, so every time a vehicle's on there, her heart is just pounding, like, is that them? Is that them? So I used to just be like telling her anything, like, oh no, mom, I sit in the office, and you know what I mean? Like,
so she didn't really know.
If you see those vehicles, that's who I belong to, but I don't really I was just trying to like calm her nerves. As much as possible, just to, because I can imagine how stressful that is. Because it's stressful for you. You see your boy one day, and then the next time you're like, "Hey, where's Jackson at?" They're like, "Oh, you ain't here?" You're like, "God damn,
man." And so, I never even thought about it. I guess because even though I was older than you, I was still very young at the time, so I didn't think about the effect that probably had on her. Really, you're still. We always are our mom's babies, but at that age, you're really still her baby. Yeah. And so
I'm not really a grown man yet. I'm just 20. I turned 21 in Iraq, actually. I turned 21 in Iraq. So
yeah. So to her, to have to deal with, even though, like you said, she was excited about the fact that you were going, I'm pretty sure that excitement felt a little different after the war, became a reality. Yeah. And so I could understand you keeping, So she didn't know nothing about 72 hours later.
No, she didn't know anything. She didn't know nothing about. I think this is probably the first time she heard that story, if she's still on. It's probably just now.
Wow, which makes sense though, because like my mom, Like I remember being in LA, maybe my first or second year of living out here, and I was living in that my first apartment. You remember back
Yeah.
by downtown LA, and I was coming home one night, and the parking lot, we had to pay extra to be in the parking lot. I ain't have extra, so I parked on the street, and then you walk up that long road, that hugs the parking lot and the freeway entrance, back up to the front of the building.
Yeah,
and I passed by these two Mexican guys, and we come from a small town, so we used to having a certain amount of street smarts. Even though we didn't live in the streets like that, you still at least understand, like, watch your back, right?
Yeah.
And so I passed by the guys, and I have my hood like halfway on. I happen to kind of like glance out the corner of my eye, and I see one of them's hand like coming towards my shoulder. And like I'm fresh. I'm fast, Jack.
Yeah.
I'm fast, Jack.
Fast as fuck, boy.
And guess what? In the middle of the night in Los Angeles with no weapons on me, 1 to 2, I ain't fighting.
Yeah.
I'm over here on this. I used to always worry about that little walkway because it's right next to that, like I said, that freeway entrance. So there's a lot of noise.
Yeah.
So so unless it's like a gunshot, if you over there getting stabbed, nobody knows.
Or stop, nobody knows. Yeah.
No, there's no windows around.
Yeah.
Nobody knows. And so I was always very apprehensive about kind of walking down there. Bro, I took off. And as a man, I know hopefully men can understand this fact and be honest. Like, even when you are in a situation where you have to be smart and you have to be the one to run away, be the one to get out of there, even though it feels smart in the moment, later you feel horrible. You feel like,
man,
I felt like I was a coward. Like I should have hit his hand, and it came around with the
because the other dude didn't see me. I could have just, as he went this way, I could have just elbowed him back.
Right. It's shit. like you be in your head, and that that whole machismo thing kind of kicks in. But thankfully, I didn't really try to be the man in that moment, because you never know. Like, it could have just been a fight, and some guys was trying to rob me because they thought I was one of them, and then it was a fist fight. I laid them both down. And they recognized, like, oh, let's not mess around with him again. But it could have not been. And I think that those decisions that you have to make, can be the difference of life or death, for a lot of us. But the moral of the story is, my parents ain't know nothing about that story either. Especially my mama. I ain't told her nothing about it. It was matter of fact, I know for a fact I didn't speak of that story until I didn't live there anymore. Because that's a big part of it. It's like, you ain't gonna say it and you still there.
So
it's like, so no, I definitely understand that. I definitely understand that.
No, I mean, it's definitely the smart decision to do. I had to be smart, and my military career, man, not just my military, my military career outside of work, like my social military career or military life, right, was way different than my life back home. Because I was, charismatic, funny, likable for the most part, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't until years later I found out I had a lot of problems with people that I didn't even know I had problems with, you know what I mean? That type of shit. But then my military life was the same, except for one thing. I fought so fucking much. I don't know if it was an anger thing, because I'm around these, this tough guy shit or tough guy lifestyle. Like my job puts me to a mindset of like, motherfucker, I can hit a flea off a fly's ear, goddamn 200 yards. You know what I mean? Like, fuck with me if you want. You know what I mean? But you just kind of get into that. You get into that mindset, man. So like a lot of places we would go, we're not the only unit. We're not the only ones who do our job. So you run into other testosterone induced people, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And for the most part, like I said, my boy Niles and my boy Criswell always kind of like that's why I like the South so much. Like they taught me a lot about humbling yourself, you know what I'm saying, and understanding like big picture shit, and a lot of stuff ain't worth it. Value the small things, family, community, you know what I mean, like that type of stuff. Not that I didn't have it already, but like I just feel like those two individuals kind of put me in a different mindset, because I was a hothead, you know, prior to that, and then you know a little bit after that, but and I was like 135 soaking wet, you know what I mean? But I was like chiseled, you know what I mean? Like I was all muscle. And every time we would go somewhere and somebody have a problem, bro, they'd be like, get the little nigga. He was over there too. And I'd be like, so I learned early on, you know, to I'm gonna tee out first. I'm not taking any chances. I know it's always somebody gonna want to test me because they think that it's gonna be easy match or whatever. So like I used to have to tee off first on a lot of shit, and I never had to like. I think I got on maybe 2 fights in the whole time I was back home. You know what I mean? But in the military, I probably got like over 200 easily. You know what I mean? Like easily. It'd be repeated fight. Like we fight at the club, we fight in the parking lot, we go to McDonald's, we fight the niggas at McDonald's. We see the niggas the next day hooping, we fight them at the gym. You know what I mean? Like,
and they're in the military.
In the military, you know what I mean? Mostly in Germany. That time we were in Germany, it was a lot of that. I mean, we used to roll like 30, 40 deep though. You know what I mean? Like everywhere we went, it like 30, 40 deep, carloads of people moving as a unit. You just, who was that? You know, and if it's anybody who resembles somebody who was part of our unit, even if they didn't show up with us, oh nigga, he ain't alone. You know what I mean? And that, you know, that's that camaraderie and brotherhood that I think you kind of get exposed to in the military, where it's like, you know, I forget what comedian it is. Dang, I think it's Tom Segura. He's talking about how black people have this brotherhood that white people don't have. He's like, I'll tell you a story. He's like, if there's a white guy as I'm leaving this comedy club and somebody punches him, I'm like, yeah, fuck that guy. Like, I don't know that guy.
Yeah, I think that is Tom.
Yeah. He's like, but a black dude, he's like, I'm gonna tell you right now. He's like, I was walking across the street and this black guy was on the other side of the street, and somebody said, hey, N-word. And he's like, and there was another black guy on the other side of the street and was like, who the hell he talking to? He's like, not me. I didn't say that. That guy. Like, we have no loyalty to each other. But like, that's how I figure the military kind of is you just have loyalty for your unit, man. Like you might fight amongst each other at work and think people a piece of shit, but like at least old school military used to be like that. When you go somewhere and you see somebody and they got a problem with somebody, you're like, wait a minute, hey, you good? You straight?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, I'm good, blah, blah, blah. And that's kind of all it takes, you know what I mean? To get something either popping or neutralized. Be like, you know, people quickly realize like, oh, this motherfucker ain't alone. It's like 30, 40 of these motherfuckers in here. Like they coming from everywhere all of a sudden, you know what I mean?
Right.
And that's just kind of how the military was for many years for me. Was having that connection to people.
Yeah. So you talked about you know, your proficiency in weapons, you driving tanks. So I'm pretty sure they showed you how to use the tank. You know, you say you can, you know, not knock a flea off a fly's ear. 200 yards means it sounds like a sniper to me. So I'm hearing weapons training, but I had Shaolin Sheldon on here talking about martial arts and how martial arts means the war art. And so oftentimes, you know, we actually looked into it. Some of the, you know, most of your militaries throughout the world practice a certain type of martial art for, you know, hand-to-hand combat. Did you guys do any of that kind of training as well?
Yeah, so like you know, the military adapted this kind of like when MMA was kind of getting started. They called it combatives. So it basically was that, you know what I mean? You do hand-to-hand combat, but that's bullshit. And that's like, little basic strikes and stuff like that. But like, if you really want to get into it, you start getting into combatives. And everybody at the time I was in, you had to go get combatives level 1. So you had to be certified at level 1 combatives. Like everybody across the army had to be that. And then you could just like, volunteer to get up to like, I think like combatives level 4 or something like that. And I think 5 was like instructor level. And then there was like competitions, you know what I mean? Like units with like the movies where you see motherfuckers boxing back in the day and shit like that. Like they would be doing combatives tournaments, military units, would put up their best against the other people's best and stuff like that. To win trophies and all types of shit.
So was there any the combatives training? Would you say that there was any primary focus?
Hey, what up, Dwight?
Primary focus of style, meaning like
no. I mean, it was mostly like jujitsu, Muay Thai, mostly like jujitsu style training that we would go through. Our job, we really didn't get involved too much in it at the time because I did have 2 different jobs. I was a tanker for about 6 years, and then I was a scout for like 5.5. But either or, we're on vehicles. So if I'm on the ground wrestling a nigga, like I fucked up somehow.
Somewhere I went wrong.
There's 14 other tanks with me. We all fucked up. If I'm out there like somebody is fired.
I hate you. I just hate your struggle sound.
Because that's what it would be. Like, nigga, we chilling in there.
Yeah. If you see me rear naked choking somebody, something went wrong.
It's the problem. They used to, they call tankers, fat because like all we do is sit. Like we sit in the fucking vehicle and look through a sight. You're like, oh, there they are. About 2 clicks out, boom, target. Nope, that nigga's not alive anymore. Next, you know what I mean? Like, we don't get out.
You don't get out.
We make them. We pull up to the gas station. We hop on the top of the tank. We fill the tank up, and then you know what I'm saying. We take off. Like same thing. Like until I became a scout, that's when I started walking. That's when I was doing like 50K road marches, 25K road death marches, shit like that. But as a tanker, I ain't had to do none of that shit.
That makes sense. Shout out to the chat. I see Dwight Brown. What's going on, family?
I ain't seen the homie, man.
I ain't seen Dwight in a minute. Happy to hear from you, bro. Hope God is good to you, treating you right and the family and all that. I see Natasha, very good. I appreciate it. We appreciate you, Natasha. Thank you for that. And I apologize to anybody watching on Facebook if it takes me a second to get back. For whatever reason, my YouTube comments in the chat get pushed directly to my screen automatically. For Facebook, for whatever reason, I have to like leave and go back to Facebook to look at it to see if anybody is participating in the chat. So my apologies. I'm not ignoring anybody. Happy to have any of y'all here, just sitting here rocking with us, having a great conversation about Reg's life at war, which is just crazy for me to even say out loud because this is the cousin that I had to share my bike with. I used to absolutely hate this kid. Like I had a great bike and I was the only child, you know what I mean? And I played with this bike alone. I got to ride it, do jumps, wheelies, whatever. When it was time to ride the bike, I rode the bike. And then
until I came over.
Reg would come over. Never brought a bike of his own. He just brought himself with hands and feet available to ride any bikes available. And that bike was mine. And so it'd be like, let Reg ride your bike. And now I'm just sitting next to a tree watching my bike from a distance go. And Reggie just smiling. Just, your bike fun. It's like, I know.
This bike hella fast. You see me? See how fast I was just going?
Cousin, watch. I'm going to do it again. Watch. I don't want to watch. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. All right. So So that's impressive, man. Shout out to you. And I was gonna say, salute you, but I know you. You were the first soldier that told me I hate when people say thank you for your service. You're the first person I've ever heard say, and I've heard other people subsequently say that. But tell people why you don't necessarily like that kind of recognition from civilians to say, hey, thank you for your service.
Well, I mean, I don't. It's not that I don't like it, right? I appreciate, because I mean, back in the day, they used to spit in soldiers' faces when they got off the buses. They used to boycott them, wouldn't give them rides, wouldn't let them rent apartments. So, like, history of the returning from war soldier is not, as good as it is today. You know what I mean?
Wow,
Like,
I didn't know that.
You have parades and people are standing up applauding you. You get in, hey, you want my seat? That type of treatment. So,
right.
For me to say that I don't like people saying thank you for your services is not necessarily what it is. It's hard for me to accept something when I know so many other people, what we call, gave like the ultimate sacrifice, which is died in combat. So like, it's not me you're thanking for my service. You know what I mean? Those brothers and sisters who lost their life, that's who I thank for their service, because people jumped on grenades, people rushed into buildings, people what I mean, people were the last ones up, just holding off an ambush. Like, there's a lot of stories that go on, countless incidents where those soldiers gave their ultimate sacrifice. So like, to hear be walking around and somebody saying, oh, you're a veteran, thank you for your service, I'm like, you're welcome. It always puts me in a mindset of like thinking like, I'm here today, thanks to other people's service.
No, I respect it, and I apologize for phrasing it the wrong way. And I hear the difference. It's not so much you don't like them saying it. Maybe sometimes in the moment you don't like where it puts your energy or your thoughts.
Yeah.
Got it. I can respect that. All right, so interesting transition. Let's talk about Cardi B. I had a thought earlier. Here's my thought. Cardi B ruined it for strippers. Let me tell you why.
Okay.
Before Cardi B, the ceiling for a stripper were just like the top clubs, going, being flown out to the top club in Atlanta, or the top club in Houston, or the top club in Vegas.
Yeah.
Doing these private sessions, blah, blah, blah. We all knew the upper echelon of stripper life, right?
Yeah.
Cardi B has turned every stripper into a potential artist now. How many stripper social media model, OnlyFans model girls do you see now that seem like they either got a song or they got a performance, they got a show coming up, they rapping? It's like, you probably didn't really want to rap before.
I mean, that's kind of misogynistic to say.
There he goes with the big words. What does that mean, soldier?
Well, I'm just, right?
Right. Here we go with the message.
Aren't you the nigga that didn't know where you were going in the desert?
Right. My message, the word, the message is gone. The word you said.
I feel you, right? There's an expectation now. Like, hey, this is the lane that I can potentially go into, right? So people see it as an opportunity. This is where I start, and this is what my goal is. How am I going to get to that goal? Maybe people say I'm cute. Let me go dance. You know what I'm saying? Let me get around the people that make these decisions, and maybe they start playing my music in the place I'm stripping at. And they're like, who's that? That's me, nigga. You know what I mean? As they shake it at. But I feel like it's the same thing with, with men too. Like, everybody who, got dreads and dye the tips of it now, I could be a rapper, I could be this, you know what I'm saying? Because I look the part, you know what I'm saying? I'm filling out that envelope in all the boxes to push my project, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like maybe she set an expectation for, or she showed a lane that most of them didn't travel, because they were looking, oh, well, how you make it in this game is that. or the dark route.
Right.
But you know what I mean? Like,
so you saying I need to celebrate it. That's what you're saying.
I don't say you need to celebrate it. I mean, I still think her music is whack as fuck. But
you think, and I'm asking this because I'm like, well, maybe it's because maybe I'm hating.
I'm not a
maybe I don't
hater.
even know. Maybe I
think
don't even realize that I'm hating because I share a similar space as an artist. And so to hear someone that's just kind of like, oh, I'm not that. I don't feel called to that. I never thought I would be that, but hey, if it's gonna make some money, I'll just do it. It's just kind of like it, and it doesn't affect me if they become an artist. It's just like, but now Cardi B got you out your craft. You was really working on that pole climb, trying to get to the top. You was really getting that routine.
You was almost
together.
there. You was
almost there. Now you in the studio. Now you trying to remember bars. Now you layer in background vocals. It's like, hey, she got you out your pocket. This ain't even you, ma. And you know, hold on. You know what makes it even worse? And this is whether they become rappers or not. I know another thing I'm kind of overhearing. And tell me how you feel about it. I'm overhearing social media girls who are making money in whatever way they make money call themselves bosses and call themselves entrepreneurs. Like, come on, man. That's a bit much.
I mean, by definition, they really are. I feel you though.
Entrepreneur?
I mean, they're entrepreneur. They're capitalizing on what they have. So I mean, I feel like to me, it's the same thing that people say, I'm about to go get this bag as they clock into fucking Wendy's. I'm like, is that a bag or are you just fucking going to work?
All right. Like, okay. So I'm willing to be proved wrong.
Hate on one or the other. It's like, you know, people call everything in the bag now. Oh, I'm about to go get this bag. I'm about to go cash out. And then they putting on their uniform and going to work. I'm like, you're just going to work. You're supposed to do that.
All right. So I'm willing to be proved wrong. So let's read it.
Okay.
A person who organizes and operates a business or businesses. Okay.
Yes.
Taking on greater than normal financial risks in order to do so. All right. Okay. So
by definition,
they are not an entrepreneur. They are not organizing and who organized and operate. Well, okay. They're not operating the business. They're not operating the business.
How are they not operating the business?
Okay, well, hold on. I guess let's pick which business. If it's a strip club,
go look at what a business definition is.
Okay,
because
okay,
I feel like
let's go down the road.
By definition, they are in fact entrepreneurs.
Okay, we're gonna get to the bottom, and by the end of this, we are going to say that they are or are not entrepreneurs and bosses. Hold on, that's all I'm to do. All right, so business. All right, let's go.
I think by definition, man, they are 100% entrepreneurs, whether we like it or not.
Okay. So this is the Wikipedia. I wanted whatever. Let's use this one. So business is the practice of making one's living or making money by producing or buying and selling products.
Yes.
Business is the practice of making one's living.
Yes.
Or making money by. So one of those two things, either making your living or making money, even if it's not your living, right?
Yeah.
By producing or buying and selling products. Are they doing one of those?
They're producing product. See, product isn't a tangible thing, right?
I kind of gotta give you that, because I guess if they are creating a product, that the product, even if it's
entertainment,
OnlyFans video or a social media account, in essence, that is a product. So I mean, they didn't. It's weird. It's like a slippery slope because they didn't create it. Like they didn't create Instagram.
No.
So whoever created Instagram actually created the product, but some kind of subset of the product they created. They customized. That's how I feel about it. I don't feel like they created it. I don't feel like they produced
slippery
it.
slope.
Right. I feel like they just customized their part of somebody else's business.
Oh, I forget the saying. It's something along those lines. Yeah, but like, bro, I mean, look, I've been stopped trying to focus on on that because you won't win. Like, you won't win and you'll never match the numbers. Nobody wants to see you as a man do the things that a woman can do, and nobody wants to see a woman do some things that a man can do. It's like, but the people are able to capitalize and cross those genres, man. And when they do it, it's like, and then people are like, I don't understand. It's like, it's not for you to understand. Cha-ching. Yep, glad you don't understand. Keep watching the videos trying to understand. Cha-ching. Like, that's what it's about, bro.
Yeah, I think
entrepreneurs, man, whether you want to believe it or not, bro, they out there getting a bag.
Yeah, I'm gonna let it go. I think I have a personal issue, with it myself. Just because I know what entrepreneurs go through. Like when it said that they take on financial risks.
Yeah,
it's like I know I know that grind. So it is a bit difficult for me to look at that as you a boss now. If I had a cracking MySpace page, cracking so hard I could take time off of it, I wouldn't be like, I'm a boss and entrepreneur because my MySpace page is cracking. I just wouldn't own it like that. So cool.
You're not even a boss. You're an influencer at that point. That's the term you gotta get in. You gotta replace boss with influencer in certain situations. Like, those people are influencers. They're influencing something. As much as you want to hate on it or not saying you personally, but just as much as people want to hate on it or not, man, they out there, And it's fucked up because our generation, right? Like, our generation is the generation that has wasted talent.
Right.
And when I say that is because a lot of us, like, they won't do shit like we're doing right now.
Yeah.
I mean, they won't put themselves out there for the world to see. They're funny, they got great content, they're interesting people, but to put themselves out there, bro, like, we just grew up in a different time where you don't put yourself out there and embarrass yourself like that. You know what I mean? Like, we grew up in that type of, in your head. Once people can get out of their head, like, it's the bag is endless for people to go out there and explore. I know some hella funny ass people, hella talented people, smart individuals that you be like, bro, like, I get mad at people that have God-given talents, and I hope Tasha Ass is still here. Like, she can sing. You know what I mean?
Step up, Tasha.
I could sing. If I could sing, this whole interview, I would have been singing the whole answers. Every fucking answer, everything you asked me, I would have been singing that shit.
Dude, I agree. I love being a rapper. I love being a lyricist. I feel like there's no more creative art form, in my opinion, than to use words the way that a good rapper can.
Yeah.
But singers don't have to try hard at all.
No, they can sing other people's shit.
They don't have to.
Nobody gives a shit.
In a verse, I might have 80 words in a verse. A singer could have 7.
Yes.
I mean,
they could just hit a run and people be like money here. I love it. More of it. You know what I mean? But like you said, like, you're to be a rapper, actor, what'd she say? Because I felt that was being directed towards me, I felt attacked. Yes, I am specifically attacking you. Immediately.
You call immediately. I'm going to bed.
I love you. But yeah, like, you're so to be a rapper, to be an actor, a dancer, something like that, it takes a lot of, like, thinking. Not saying that singing doesn't take thinking, because you got to be good at your art. You got to practice your art, of course. But what I'm saying is, for you to write a rap, you got to get in a mood. You got to get this story. The words got to rhyme. You got to do this poetic thing to this rhythm. You know what I mean? You got to be excited. You got to be engaging and stuff like that. Like I, as a singer, can, I already know people like this. Let me sing that.
That's it.
I already know people like this. I can do this like this. You know what I mean? Like,
and there's no, and there's nothing against it. Like I think that's another thing that singers miss is like, once you can sing, let's say you're a singer. I'm gonna use Tasha. I don't know Tasha. I don't know as far as like I don't know her as far as like her writing and creating her own music, if she does any of that. But I'll say this: the beauty is that as long as she has the talent, she don't have to do anything else. She can literally go everywhere and be accepted immediately because she's singing music that place loves. She could pick Whitney Houston song, Shaka Khan song, Mariah Carey song, Brandy song, and then and that's it. No one's gonna be like. Whereas like I couldn't say, all right, I'm gonna do this Tupac joint. I'm gonna do a Nas rap. I'm gonna do a Snoop song.
Somebody in the back gonna be like, "Do your own shit, nigga."
Right? The hell you think you is?
You ain't Tupac, nigga. Shut your ass up. Like
you're unoriginal. Yeah, I was getting kicked off the stage.
They gonna go to all your social media, nigga, and let everybody know this nigga rapping other niggas shit.
Right.
Like, it's
but
gonna
if
be
you're a singer,
you can't be a comedian. I can't be a comedian and go tell Bernie Mac jokes.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm a comedian. I'm gonna do the whole stand up from Eddie Murphy Raw. Like, no, you can't.
Now, what you could, the only sleight of hand that you could do is if you know how to do impressions, because then that's another easy way to get people to like you. Because all right, I'm gonna do Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
If Eddie Murphy was talking to Cardi B about why she calls herself a boss, like like now that's funny.
Yeah,
but yeah, they have.
But even that is taking practicing and getting and doing a creative.
You gotta work on that.
You gotta work on that. You know what I mean? Like, but you have the God-given talent. Even if you know how to run fast, your ass should be on the track every day. If you a hooper, your ass should be in the fucking gym every goddamn day. Like God-given talent, man. And like Will Smith said, something a while ago. It was like, or maybe it was even I can't remember. One of them said like, practice outweighs talent any day or something like that. Something to the effect of that. And I'm like, yeah, but talent never goes away. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, the phrase is hard work will beat talent if talent doesn't work hard.
Yes. Yeah. And it will beat it, but talent will never go away.
Right.
You'll always be able to sing.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you get shot in your fucking throat. You know what I mean? But you probably still can hum like a bitch. You know what I mean? Just made a whole fucking song like it. Whole song. Triple platinum. Motherfucker just whistling.
Right. No, that's a fact. I do hope that this podcast will ignite people in their own journeys. Like there's nothing more important for us to do than to somehow excite somebody else. Like whether you look at my podcast and you're like, man, he's trash, I could do way better than that. Cool. That's still motivation for you. Take it and do with it what you may, because the world needs more voices. It needs more love. It needs more positivity. It needs more diversity in thought and honest thought. And so, that's all we're trying to do. So anybody listening, especially Tasha, because you ain't go to sleep yet, you still listening. We got to have like some kind of talent portion of this show. Like once our numbers get up and the viewership really starts to get to the next level, I do want to start bringing people on to expose people, because already I've had people on this show that if they knew how talented somebody was, they could get them somewhere. Like just my guest yesterday has worked with big names. He was the music director for American Idol. Like ran the whole band. He's worked with top dog artists. He's worked with Chris Browns. He's worked with big labels. Like Like, so already I've had people on the show that if they were listening, and I know he watches, if they were listening and saw or heard somebody doing something, they could be like, all right, well, what do you want to do? Because that's what it really comes down to.
Yeah.
What people are going to take you for whatever you allow them or tell them to take you as. If you take yourself as a serious artist, that's what they're going to take you as. If you take yourself as like someone who just has a great talent, but you don't really see yourself trying to be, in the limelight like that, cool. That's how they're going to look at you.
Yeah.
And having a safe place for people to come and be whatever you want to be as an artist. Because I'm way past the idea of, because you have a great talent, you should try to be a superstar. Like, that ain't for everybody. Yeah. Somebody just wants to have an amazing talent and sing at weddings. And they would love that. That would fill their heart with joy just to sing at weddings all the time. Cool. Well, sing at as many weddings as possible. That's all I say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Cover as much ground as you can. Be one of them people that they flying out to come to Dallas to sing at this wedding, and then tomorrow you got to go over to Atlanta, and you shooting up to Connecticut and back down to Baltimore. Like, be that person.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to do. But a lot of people, like you say, they have this talent, and maybe because they don't have the belief in themselves, or they don't know exactly what they want to do with it.
Yeah.
It just kind of sits dormant.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you said, hopefully, and I've been, I've had many a podcast shows, you already know. That's one thing, is like, hey, look, learn from people's mistakes, especially people that right? And I always say, like, the people that know you or think that they know you are going to be your biggest critics, but it's also motivation to them, because they're gonna be like, oh, I saw this, that I think they could have did it like this. Like, okay, well, that was an idea that you didn't have until you seen this. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
So if that's inspiration, if that's what somebody needs to propel them into a direction of success, like, mission accomplished. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Without me knowing or going to the military, meeting the people that I've met, bro, I wouldn't have never in my life known how to change a goddamn transmission on a Monte Carlo. You know what I mean? Like, little shit like that. Like, I forget who I always know these shits in my head, but I forget who says them to me. You don't know about business until you get involved in business. So, like, you won't know about shit until you just start looking at the shit. Start, like, if you're curious about something, start looking at that shit. And you're gonna go down a rabbit hole, because you're gonna find something else that you didn't know. That's gonna send you in a direction. Then it's gonna send you. Then you're gonna watch this video. Then, like, before you know it, you so deeply invested into something, you are years ahead of where you would have been had you never had a fucking started. So
absolutely.
I guess that's my little motivational piece for the segment, since I was talking about a whole bunch of bullshit.
No, man, that was incredible content you gave out today. I know a lot of people were entertained, probably, surprised to hear some of it. But that's good. We live in a world right now where it's good to have your eyes opened. And sometimes you don't know what your eyes have been closed to, but sometimes just having them open in one direction makes you question something else. It makes you, turn your head the other way and go, hold on, well, then what about this other thing? And so that's the only way we find truth. Yep. So, but with that, we're going to close it out, man. I enjoyed this.
Yes,
I enjoyed chatting with you, Cuzzo. This has been really good. Everybody in the chat, watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Appreciate all of you. Appreciate the comments, the energy. It was really good. That makes a difference when you have that kind of energy flowing through.
Absolutely.
Through a conversation. It tends to go really fast. I don't feel like we've been talking as long as we have.
Yeah.
So with that being said, bro, pod is good
all the time.
And all
pod
the
is
time.
Good, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 17. My guest, RegFrmDaSev. Tell them how they can catch up with you if they want to reach out.
On Facebook, man. Y'all know what it is. Most of y'all are from my Facebook, so just hit me up, man. Check in, tap in with your people, man. You know what I'm saying? I've seen a lot of people come in and out. I'm glad to see that you at least was interested, to see what the hell I was up to. Like, why the hell am I alive right now? you know, I try to, you know what I'm saying, I try to go through and scroll through and just, you know, check in on my people, like y'all pictures and stuff like that. You know, the simple, you never know what somebody's going through, man. You know, I had a friend who just recently you know, passed away, who committed suicide. And I feel like you know, a lot of us are going through trials and tribulations. Like, we don't know, you know, how each other is feeling. We just think everybody's straight because, you know, social media becomes this facade that we, you know, we take for granted. Well, not for granted, but, you know, we take as reality. But, you know, everything sometimes is just smoke and mirrors, man. So it's good to just tap in with your loved ones, especially people, you know, that you grew up with, that you might not have seen. You never know their situation. So, you know, if you ever feeling like, you know, you ever feeling like you need to talk to somebody, talk to me. You know what I'm saying? Hit me up on any goddamn social media that y'all follow me on already. If you want to learn about any fucking thing, man, I'm deeply, heavily invested in a lot of shit, man. So I can at least point you into the right direction, or give you somebody that can put you on or something. So, but yeah, man.
Dope. Appreciate you, bro.
Oh, one more thing.
All right, y'all. Oh, one more thing.
I'm gonna drop the dime on us. Be lookout for the No U-Turns podcast with me and yours truly, Cashmere, California. We will be having our own show coming soon.
Soon.
But I really appreciate you, Cuzzo, for having me on, man. I'm glad I finally got on.
Yes, sir.
Finally was able to get on this thing, man. I loved it. I had such a good time, man. I can't wait to do it for realsies.
Yeah, we on that. Love you, cuz.
Just fucking go black real quick. Just like, click.
You got, we know we gotta have those inside jokes. But yeah, no turn signal podcast. It will be coming soon, starring Cashmere, California, and RegFrmDaSev. It will be funny from top to bottom. We probably won't be talking a whole lot of war, but you never know. I mean, that's
I do have
point.
A lot of more funny stories about the military that y'all need to hear, though. So yeah, definitely.
I believe it. So we will get into all of it and let y'all know when that's coming. So you know, like you said, stay tuned. With that being said, we'll holla at y'all later.
Peace.